Hey everyone, Vincent Wynn here. Good morning. Today is another day. Today's going to be a little bit more casual than my usual live stream or TA session. We'll just spend some time talking today. Give me just a second to get set up here. Okay, all right. Let me send this to my team real quick and then we can get started. Okay, all right. Let's jump in and see what's going on with the market today. If you have not heard, AMC just released a new offering for 40 million shares. That explains why this happened this morning. Tank the price. Let's see here. So about 2.4 million shares were dropped this morning alone. That was roughly about a 17% drop. And so that sliced through right below my line here that I drew out yesterday. So there is a pattern pending right now. Just keep in mind that where a pattern ends, that's where the opportunity begins. I know that sounds corny, but that is the 17% drop. Oh, hold on just a second. And okay, if you guys are in, drop me a comment, let me know you're there. Let's talk stock market pricing today and what's up this week. All right, so the big question is, am I still bullish on AMC? I mean, right now, I'd be lying if I said I was, right? I mean, this is the day chart. This is where things were supposed to be happening until we saw this piece of news that came out. Hold on just a second. Let's see. Let me see if I can share this with you. Just a second here, guys. You know what? Safari, where are you? Is that Safari? All right, there it is. Okay, so this is the piece of news that came out. 40 million shares being offered. And unfortunately, this happened. So what's my thought on the 40 million shares? I personally think that they are already, hey, where's my, hold on just a second. Where's my trading view? Okay, there's my trading view. Okay, so my thinking is the 40 million shares have already been bought up, and that is what is explaining the last few days of price action. It's just my theory, okay? I could be wrong, but what we saw here was just a knee-jerk reaction of the market reacting to this offering. But the 40 million shares, if we watch the news, if we watch the price action today, and we see a quick recovery back up to where pricing closed yesterday at 1364, then my theory is that 40 million shares have already been bought up and shorts are using it to cover the FTDs that has caused AMC to be on the threshold list for ever and ever and ever. And that's how they're now suddenly off the threshold list. So I don't believe in coincidences. So when this offering dropped this morning and when AMC got dropped off the threshold list at the same time, that tells me that AMC got greedy, they dropped the offering, and guess what? Shorts buy it up and covered. Hey, good morning, Anne Marie. Good morning, Joe. Hello, Joe. Hey, Niam, how are you? So that's enough of my rant about AMC. I want to see what happens today. If price doesn't stabilize, again, let me just quickly bring this up real quick. If price does not stabilize within this price, then we know there's probably going to be more downside coming. All right, so let's just keep an eye on that. This is what's supposed to happen in the long run. I don't know about long run, but it's supposed to play out in some form, because obviously shorts cannot stay in this range forever unless they plan on shorting AMC back down to $1. So that would put AMC at like 10 cents a share. I can't see that happening. Okay, all right, let's move on. Let's see here. Good morning. Do you know what's going on with AMAT in regards to them finding an extension to stay compliant? Isn't this running out? You know what? Who asked that? Liberty? You know, I cannot speak to what MMAT is going to do. Let's bring up MMAT chart here. They recently got a contract that was so awesome, right? For the company, it was awesome for the community to see this price growth here. Let's see here at the bottom of, actually, you know what? Let's go back a little further. The bottom of MMAT was roughly 17 cents. I believe I called out 17 cents some time ago, and it nailed it pretty quickly. So from there to where it is now at the close of yesterday was about 36%. That's just not enough to get MMAT back up above $1, which is right. Let's see what the percentage is for it to get back to compliant. Wow, it's a long ways to go. Let's see, $1. Okay, so let me look. So the stock price needs to go up more than 332%. I don't know. I don't know how to explain what the company's going to do in terms of how it can get back to compliance unless something miraculously happen. The last resort is obviously a reverse split, but Pelican, you know, the CEO has already made it abundantly clear that that's not an option. So it's down to either getting delisted, moving to the OTC, which no one wants. But it is what it is. I mean, I have a lot of friends who are still in MMAT, so I wish them the best of luck. But hey, since we're here, let's talk TA for MMAT and where things are going. Okay, so here's the day chart. I just brought that up. Everything looks really good. It's on its way up, but unfortunately, it's not moving fast enough yet. So I have these two lines drawn out. One, the bottom one is the support, the 20 SMA. The top one is the the bottom line is the 20 SMA, which is the white line, and then the 8 EMA kind of converging together here. I'm almost thinking that if this holds and price opens above 23 cents today, we can see, I mean, in theory, I want to see something like this happen. And then you see it coming back up to test the 26 cent range, the top here. And then if it breaks through this resistance here, then we can see about filling this massive gap down, right? And that will at least give MMAT, I want to say, from the gap fill, somewhere around here, another 44% growth up. I mean, that definitely would get morale moving again for the stock. Okay, hold on a second. Let me check comments, guys. Yep, so that's where MMAT is at in terms of where it could be going. In terms of what's happening in the next couple hours, let's take a look. There's some interesting patterns here. All right, so you guys know how much I base my trading and technical analysis on harmonic patterns, and this is what you see before you in this red line, shade is a butterfly pattern, and it is a bearish pattern because of where the price ended when the pattern concluded up here at 25 cents. Okay, so the harmonic optimized pricing would have been at 25 cents, but it ended here at 25.02 versus 25.20 or 25.38. However, when that happens, I look for opportunities right away. Where can price go as a bear? If I'm trading as a bear, I'm going to find opportunities when it ends at the peak of the pattern at the top. So immediately, based on ratio, I can see that the first target is 23 cents, and then the second target is 21 cents, 21.92. And I look at where price nailed the 21.92 precisely. 21.92 low. If you look up here in the top corner, top left corner, 21.90 on 8.31, and then from that point on it bounced upward. You see the price reversing. So yeah, I mean, people say harmonic pattern doesn't work, or it's mostly incorrect, or it's just flat out suck. But I've found that looking over many thousands of charts, they all follow the same golden ratios that we see in nature, in art, in photography, everywhere. And it applies to trading as well, because algorithm has to have a foundation to trade the stock in the digital world. And guess what? Those algorithms are coded and developed by humans, right? So it doesn't matter how the stock trades. It's not up to us to determine whether it's fair, whether the stock is getting shorted. I don't care. Our traders look at opportunities. We know the market's not fair. We know the market's not fair. So how can we take that knowledge and make it to our benefit, our advantage? Our advantage is basically understanding when these opportunities come up. And those opportunities come up when you're able to determine the high and the low. If you're a bear, you obviously want to short the stock down. And if you're a bull, you want to be able to determine that at price target 2, I'm going to be able to go long and determine at what point price is going to reverse. And so when you understand patterns, I mean, just look at this here. This is a, I mean, just look at the way these trend lines work, right? As they're forming, I know that this trend line is going to help me determine the exit point for MMAT right up here. And look what happens. It nailed the top, yielding a, let's see here, what's the gain here? If I bought right in here, it would have net me a 13-14% gain before I cash out on this swing trade. Oops, hold on a second, sorry about that. Right, so that's just a little bit of the psychology behind trading, understanding the market, understanding market structure, understanding that there are only fringe cases where stock will go to the moon. Very few cases. The market will not allow that to happen. It's just, that's the hard truth. And so we want to make money within the constraint that we're given, within the sandbox here. And when you understand that, rinse and repeat. This is your squeeze, right? 20, 30, 50%. There are stocks that are running 200%. And you take that, multiply it by 10 times, 30 times a month, 2 months, 3 months. That is how you succeed. And that's how I'm working with our traders to be successful in trading. Okay, enough of that. Let me look at comments. Have I heard, let's see here, yeah. So I hope, Liberty, I hope that answers your question. I don't know. Right now, MMAT is a hard one because the company has so much goodness in terms of technology, but they're not able to monetize. They're not able to monetize all the patents that they own and the technologies and things like that because they're still so far ahead of the curve in terms of what technology they own and what can really be implemented within the infrastructure of whatever segment that they're trying to sell or license their technology to. And unfortunately, the singular CEO that is in charge has stated that this is the course he's taken. They're not doing a reverse split. I just don't know how else what other solutions there are. I don't. My hands are up. All right, so let's move on. The next question is, have I heard anything about the ARM IPO? I haven't. If you know anything, please share, and then we can go over it together. Okay. I know there were a couple of requests to look at some charts this morning. Hang on just a second. Guys, help me out here. If there are charts, let me know. Which chart did we want to look at? Oh yeah, so last night I believe, let's see here, team stocks. I believe AUR, MGNX, VNDA, I think were some of the ones that we were wanting to look at. But before we get to Anne-Marie said she wants to look at C. God, my eyes are so bad, I can barely see. Hang on, let me zoom in here real quick. CGGC or GCCC? Help me out here. Is it GCCC? Give me a thumbs up if it is. Okay. Let's see. CGC? I can't read that. I don't know why I can't see that. Hang on a second. Okay. All right. GCC. Okay. That's a tongue twister. CGC. Hang on a second. Okay. GC. Canopy growth. Is that right? Canopy growth? Okay. CGC. Okay. Got it. Let's take a look. Okay, so wow, interesting. Interesting. Okay, so let's look at the day chart really quick here. Can you tell me roughly within this chart where your entry was? Because it looks like, based on what I'm seeing here, the pattern started back here. Let's see. The pattern started back here with this massive candlestick here. And starting to come back. Yeah, no, I agree. It's just right now, based on what I'm seeing, it's ending wave 2 to 3. And if you've been following me or if you've been in my trading group, you understand that wave 2 to 3 is normally the most profitable wave, right? So it's not a coincidence that wave 2 to 3 ran almost 90%. This ran almost 90% from the swing low of this pattern up to here. And guess what? That also happens to be where price is optimized for reversal. So think of the swing low being down here and then swing high being up here at the end of wave 3. So what do we expect to happen from here? I would expect that unless they're, let's say it's trading at 132 million shares, I mean, I would expect some sort of a gap up above the hop here, okay? And then watch for it to start retracing down. You'll see a gap up here. I'll bet you dollars to oranges that there's going to be a little bit of a gap up here from where it's at up to 77, maybe 77 cents. And then from there, I would expect to see a retracement here, at least a 50%, 382, or maybe even a 618 retracement. So that's going to put CGC pricing, interestingly enough, around price target 1 and 2 as a retracement. And again, I don't believe in coincidences, right? Just look at where I'm doing this real time. I've never seen this chart before, and I'm charting this out in real time for you so that you can see my thinking as I assess a chart. Look at where price target 1 and 2 is at a Fibonacci ratio of like a 618, for example. It's sitting right, that would be right where the 50 SMA and the 20 SMA is right here. I mean, how crazy is that? And interestingly enough, I tell our traders that price normally explode when price sits or hover or cross above the 20 SMA. And look what happens here. Right at the 20 SMA, with the 3 and the 8 crossing above the 20, price just shot straight up from there. And it respected the 3 and the 8. So if you bought in, if you were smart enough, or you caught this early on and you're sitting here in your buy-in was like at 38 cents or so, you're in the green. I mean, I like to say, stay green, not greedy. There are trading management strategies that you can take where you can take profits off the table without exiting the play completely. And that's a different conversation for a different day. The way I would trade this, or if I personally was in this, I would look at this as, hey, you know what? What is my secondary core trading principle? That's the 8 EMA. So as long as price continues to close above the 8 EMA, which is this green line here, and if it continues to respect the 3 EMA, yeah, sure, I'll take some off the top to cover my cost of CGC for the buy-in, but I'm going to wait this out and see what happens. And at some point, when you see a sell pattern like a shooting star, that is an indication of reversal that's coming. And then that's when you have to decide as a trader, do you want to stay in for the long haul, or do you want to take the money and run and wait for the retracement? Because wave 3 to 4 is coming, my friends. 3 to 4 is coming. The top of 3 is somewhere here, about 75 cents. The top is coming soon. It's going to gap up and it's going to retrace. So yes, so that's CGC. That's the overview look of when someone says to me, hey Vincent, can you take a look at the stock for me, tell me where the life cycle is? This is what I do. I look at the life cycle of the stock, and right now, wave 0 to 1 is up here, 1 to 2 retracement here, 2 to 3 is here, 3 to 4 is inevitable. It's coming. And my thinking is it's going to be right around 52 cents, right where price target 1 is. And then from there, guess what? there's that bull wave coming, and that bull wave is going to come back up to test the harmonic optimized price somewhere here before you see wave. This is going to hurt. Wave 5 to A is going to be it's going to be devastating. So that's where I'm thinking 46 cents is going to be price target 2, and then it's going to bounce up, and then we'll see the chart reset. And that right there, my friends, is the life cycle of every single stock. I don't care if it's Apple, I don't care if it's Nvidia, I don't care if it's Tesla, NASDAQ, New York Exchange. They all go through the same life cycle. Okay, hope that helps. I know I went a little long on that. Please let me know if you have specific question, Anne-Marie. Can I call you Anne-Marie? What's your nickname? That just sounds so formal. Is there an informal name that people call you, like a nickname? That's just a discussion for another day. I usually don't like to share my setup just because it's very personal to me, and I advise everyone to do the same. If you have a setup that works for you, you need to protect that. You need to not share what is your secret, because that is you, right? So you don't want to give that away. That is your secret sauce. You want to hold that tight, because that is who you are, right? That's what makes you unique. And the way I have my system set up took me many years after looking at thousands and thousands of charts. So I usually don't like to go into the nitty-gritty of how I set up my charts. But I keep it very simple, and it allows me to quickly assess any stock. AM, how about M? M? Did you know in Vietnamese, EM is like younger sister, younger sibling, which is kind of cool. I like that. Okay, anything else? Oh yes, I saw MGNX. Yeah, let's look at MGNX. That's a fun stock. Oh my gosh. I took a peek at MGNX last night in our group as we were discussing this. Hence, I have some lines drawn here already. Again, let's look what's happening from a one-day chart. Dang, hang on a second. Let me take a step back and take a look at this. How funny is that? So again, right? I mean, the way my pattern's set up, wow. So this pattern, the algorithm started back in February 12 of 23, and it peaked out in April 3rd. Hey guys, just so you know, 5 minutes till the market opens. If you want me to continue, let me know. If not, we can switch to looking at stocks that you are actively trading. Okay, I can just go on and on and on forever about TA on any stock. But let me wrap this up really quickly for MGNX. So there's this pattern developed. It completed on 7/27, had a quick reaction. This is, by the way, a bullish pattern. Completed on July 27th, had a very, very quick reaction here. And that's, hang on a second, I got a call coming in. Hang on a second. Hang on a second, give me a second. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, I had a very quick reaction, which to me always validates the end of a cycle. So had a quick reaction, came back down and tested this range, and then look at that price immediately within, let me see what the time frame was. Immediately within 11 trading days, nailed price target 1. Now, remember, had you showed this to me in advance, I would have told you that my expectation for MGNX would be price target 1. Okay, and then what happens when this reaction takes place? It's going to come back down and test where the pattern ended, which was at $4.64. And then guess what happens after that? It's going to bounce around here. Everyone knows that I do not like gaps because gaps always get filled. It gapped up here, right above. It gapped up above the 8 EMA and the 3. So this could be seen as bullish or bearish. Depends on which side you're trading. If you're a bear, you're thinking, okay, all right, it gapped up, right? But you know what? Gap's going to come back down and fill. So, and then you still have this optimized harmonic pattern that needs to come down to about $4.06. So you want, as a bear, you want to sit here and watch what happens when the market opens today. If price opens above the close of the last trading day and continues to trade upward, as a bear, you're not gonna take this short position, right? You're gonna sit and wait and just wait until price settles down somewhere up here, and then you jump in and take your short position. As a bull, you're doing the same thing. I mean, when the price gaps up, you want to sit and watch what happens. So if price opens up above yesterday's closing, there's a high probability that price is going to continue trading upwards. So my thinking is, because this is a bullish setup where price pierced above the 8 EMA, I would venture to say that this is a bullish setup for today, okay, for MGNX. MGNX should be bullish, and most likely it could come back up and test price target 1 again at $6.17 before it does something to come back down, and then something else would cause it to fully retrace back up to $7.51. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Okay, and usually after a pattern completes, I always like to look at a 30 period time frame. So something is about to happen because the 30-day is ending on 9/8, which is in 2 days. Mark my word, something is going to happen with this within this time frame. If not, then it invalidates this entire pattern, which does make sense because you have the first validation here, which is the reaction upwards after the pattern completed, came back down, retested the range, and then it nailed price target 1, came back down and tested the price determination price range again. So my thinking is it's ready for this reset to come back up to price target 2. Okay, come back, fact check me in a few days, and we'll go from there. But that is MGNX. Hope that helps. Can you go over SPY? Do you see head and shoulder formation? Yeah, Mike, let me do that. Give me just a second. Market should be open right now, right? Give me just a second. While I'm doing this, drop some more in there, whatever you want to look at. But let me bring up SPY real quick. Where are you, SPY? My eyes are so bad for some reason this morning. Where are you? I can't see you. Okay, SPY, let's see. Okay, all right. So, Mike, you're asking if there's a head and shoulder formation on what time frame? What time frame are you thinking? Let me know what time frame. Okay, so SPY. I haven't looked at SPY in a while. Is it time for some classes? Now, I have contacts on, but I think these contacts are a couple of days over the 2-week period, and so they're getting a little hazy. I'm just okay. So the day chart. Okay, so blah blah blah. SPY on the day chart is, interestingly enough, you've got wave 1. I'm going to just chart this out real quick, okay? Wave 0 to 1 up here, okay? and then wave 1 to 2 down, and then wave 2 to 3 up here, and then 3 to 4 retracement down. So it looks like wave 3 to 4 just completed, and now we're looking at wave 4 to 5, which is this guy right here. And right now, I have this line drawn out already. I don't know when I did this, but looks like I have the breakout point to be right at around 399. And so yeah, the breakout point is there. It basically, I don't know if it's invalidated this pattern yet, because it's supposed to come down and nail price target 1 and 2 at 419 and 404 respectively. But since wave 4 to 5 is in progress, I mean, this breakout here looks like if I were to measure the height of this breakout and then transport it over to, hold on a second guys, I'm having some issues here. Here from the breakout up, it looks like, oh man, that is perfectly aligned with this price target of at 618, the golden ratio again for wave 5. Come back and fact check me on this down the road here. But wave 5, the 618 ratio nails it right at 496. So Mike, I'm gonna call it right now. I'm looking at SPY to conclude wave 4 to 5, which is going to be about a 14.8% growth on wave 4 to 5. This is where my thinking is. And again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I am here to educate and help you understand how the stock market moves. Okay? Any other questions? I think the market's open. Let's jump back and see what's going on here. Anything else? Anyone? X4. I think X4. Okay, let's look at X4 really quick because I want to look at the market today. Okay. Again, same routine. I look at the day chart. I have not looked at this. Had a massive bearish bat pattern. Okay, it completed here, had a quick reaction. Remember, when you have a bearish pattern that completes, the reaction would be automatically come down. If you have a bullish pattern, automatically would go up and then retrace. And that's exactly what we see here. Price completed from wave 2 to 3, which is where the pattern concluded. 3 to 4 bounced right off of the 20 SMA, and then 4 to 5. Okay, so 4 to 5 ended very close to where harmonic optimized pricing is at 268. And then guess what? You're watching this in real time. I'm not making this up. Leg 5 to A happened. 5 to A happened. What was that drop? That was a 33% drop. And then look exactly where wave 5 to A ended. Price target 1 at $1.69. You cannot sit there and tell me that harmonic patterns do not work. You can't tell me that. It's inevitable that market retraces in either direction and it follows certain guiding principles, golden ratios. Okay, so what's going to happen next? Oh my gosh, look at this. Let's look here. This is funny. Look at wave B to C. Holy hell. They totally murdered X4. Took it all the way down by 53%. But here's the takeaway. Look at where price target 2 is and look at where price is consolidating at. Right? Price target 2 is $1.30. is $1.30, right? And look at where price is consolidating, $1.28. Again, you can't tell me that harmonics is wrong or it doesn't work. It's inaccurate because you're watching me TA X4 in real time. I mean, yes, this sounds like it's Monday morning quarterback, but if you were to show me this chart back in May or June, or even, April, May, or June, I would tell you the same thing. Price target 1 and 2 does not change on the day chart. Because why? Because the algorithm sets up the play and it does what it needs to do to get from point 0 to point C, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, and then 5 to C down. So that is what you're seeing here. And so where to go from here? I think, remember I keep saying that when a pattern concludes, that's where the real opportunity exists. So the pattern completed at C. Now, if you were there and caught the 99 cents or $1 knife, you would be sitting at almost a 30% gain right now, where it normalizes at $1.30. You're seeing the numbers, they add up. It just adds up. So now price is hovering around or above the 20 SMA right here on the white. So I want to watch to see if there's going to be more drawdowns, and just watch. I suspect that it's going to come down a little bit more and then come back up, retest the 200 SMA, and look at this. The 200 SMA was supposed to act as support, but you know what? It gapped all the way down for whatever reason. I don't know if there's news or whatever, but they totally gapped it down. Broke through the 200 SMA like butter. So yeah, right now, X4 is trading in bear territory. For how long, I don't know. I mean, that's exactly the same place that AMC's in, but AMC's even in a worse position right now because the company keeps diluting shares. So, I mean, that's another discussion for another day. So right now, I would watch X4. I would not enter simply because there seems to be more drawdown. Okay, there seems to be more drawdown. Everything happens in threes. So day 1 was on the 5th, day 2 today is the 6th, and then I would watch for possibly another drawdown somewhere here, and it's going to normalize around the 3 EMA. Okay, all right, that's X4. Hope that helps. FNGR, I honestly don't want to TA FNGR simply because those of you who know me know I don't particularly care for the groups that are pushing these meme stock. So I'm gonna respectfully decline to TA FNGR right now. If anyone else has anything else, please drop it in the comment. If not, I'm gonna go back to the team list because I think there were a few other stocks that got requested. AUR, okay, let's look at AUR really quick. AUR, my immediate look at this is it's basically completed the wave up 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the peak of $3.76, came back down, retraced to A to B. It's hitting the top here. So in order for this stock to break out, it needs to break above the high of $3.79. So watch that price. If wave A to B can break $3.79, you've got a stock that's going to break out. Okay, if it does not break that today, I would expect some sort of a retracement tomorrow and then come back down to wave C. So up 380, it just broke the high of 379. And remember, it's going to test the high of 379. So let's go to the 4-hour chart. Let me see what's happening here. Yeah, so funny enough, wave 3 to 4, 4 to 5, on the 4-hour chart, wave 4 to 5 is concluding. So it's going to test a high. It needs to break above the high of 375.79 and stay above. If it doesn't and gets rejected, then yeah, I'm gonna expect something like this to happen. And then the retracement to 618 or 50%, which is right where the 50 EMA is right here. Okay, so that's where AUR is. Chart looks good, but I always look at the big picture, because unless I'm scalping, I want to make sure that I'm trading in the same trend as the big chart, the 1-day chart or the 4-hour chart, or else I'm going to get burned. I'm going to show you why that's important. Okay, so let's jump over to the 10-minute chart here. There was a breakout here at the hop, harmonic price, and it invalidated this bullish pattern for now. I suspect that the bear stepped in this range and tried to push the price up. Right now, volume for the last 10 minutes is about 560,000. For the last 10 minute, and this current 10 minute is about 470. When we talk about pump and dump, this, my friends, is where the pumping is happening, right here. This is where the pumping is happening. And mark my words, you're gonna see this, and then you're gonna see this. I'm expecting this to go somewhere between 333 to 325 pretty quickly at some point today. And this is by definition what I call a pump and dump. They're driving the price up with low volume, consolidate, while they're buying and selling a little bit here to push the price up. And then they're gonna dump this on your ass right here. And then you're gonna sit holding the bag at 360 or something while price is at 324. The oscillators support the fact that it is oversold right now. Okay, so that is short-term scalping, swing trade. Holding these stocks is, in my opinion, is not healthy right now. Okay, so it broke the high by a penny, and it retraced quickly. There was no follow through with buy volume to blast the stock above the high of 379. Okay, ADTX. Give me a second there, Mike. Okay, so let's go back to the day chart really quick. ADTX. Oh, 1 day. Okay. ADTX. Ooh. Okay, so ADTX had a really strong day, and by strong, volume doubled what average volume is normally at about 587,000 shares, and triple. So it's at, the biggest volume day was 1.71. Unfortunately, I mean, well, there's no pattern on the ATX, but I can tell you that it broke above the 200-day moving average, and it tried to break up again, but it's forming this decline in volume. And then today there appears to be some sell-off. I mean, if you look at this from a bull perspective, this could be a bear flag that's getting formed, and then somewhere around the 200 SMA price could go up right there. That could happen, right? If the two. So my thinking on moving averages is when it's getting tested, it needs to come back down, touch it, consolidate, and if support is strong, you're gonna see this right here. So this is a bullish scenario, okay? Bear scenario would be price goes up, consolidates at the 200, and then oops, there's not enough bull stepping in, so guess what? We're gonna come back down to the 20 SMA, which is right at about $17 and 67 cents. This is all on record on video, guys. Come back and fact check me when price starts to move in either bear or bull direction. Okay, hello Joe. You want to talk about NVAX? All right, let's jump in. And by the way, if you have specific questions, I know I'm going quickly over the overview of the state of the stock, but I think as an intro, I think that it's good to hear and see from a 30,000 feet perspective versus the nitty gritty. And the nitty gritty doesn't give you a perspective of where price is heading. And if you're trading, scalping, swinging, or holding long, that is such an important skill set that you need to be able to do before you enter a trade, because you always want to trade with the trend. The trend is your friend, and you'll hear that a lot from people, but not many people explain to you what that means. The trend is your friend means that not whether it's going up or down, it gets more granular and specific, meaning that if a stock on a day chart is sitting above the 200-day moving average, that means that the stock is bullish. If it's trading below the 200-day moving average, the stock is bearish. That means that the algos are set to continuously short that stock, regardless of what happens on the intraday. I hope that helps. ADTX. Okay, so this is ADTX. AIM, the oscillators, again, is private, and that's part of my setup that I don't share or give away or talk about, just because that would mean I would have to give away my setup. I hope you understand. Sorry. I mean, I can help you set up your similar setup privately, but it's not something I discuss publicly. Okay, so that is ADTX. And just as I was explaining the 1-day chart, look what's happening here on the 1-hour chart. It lines up. Funny enough, I was drawing the same flag, and look what's happening on the day chart. The same flag is being drawn. And I drew out two scenarios, a bear and a bull scenario, right? So what's going to happen? This is where you need to be patient, sit and watch the stock, right? It's doing this right now. It's bouncing around, high, low, high, low, high, low. So at this point, if there's a lot of selling pressure, what do you think is going to happen? You think the stock is going to drop? And where would it drop to? Support is at $16.55, right? So if the bears come in and try to knock this price down, you know there's some support sitting here at $16. Or if the bulls step in, which looks unlikely, it could hit 65. For now, I'm thinking it's going to come back down to $18 or so right here. If you watch my other video on the psychology of trading, or the thinking behind trading, if you talk to any hedge funds or any professional traders, they will tell you that they are more bearish biased than bullish, because just wow, what was that? What's that one mythology picture where you've got the guy pushing a giant boulder up a mountain and he keeps failing, right? He keeps trying to push, and then it's just like it's like being in hell and you keep doing it. As retail traders, because retail traders want stock to continue to go up and go to the moon, it's a losing battle because things fall faster than they go up. And it takes less effort to drop the stock than to push the stock up. That's why hedge funds, professional traders, they love to be bear biased. Because when a stock starts to fall, a couple of things happen. People sell out of fear. You have stop loss getting triggered, and it becomes a domino effect. We'll discuss more about this later in a separate topic or a separate live stream. But when you see, going back to the setup, when you see a setup like this, I want to say 70 out of 100% of the time the stock will gravitate towards down. So just keep that in mind as you're thinking about an entry. Okay. Yes, that's it. Thanks, Mike. That's it. So when you guys look at these stocks, remember, a stock will fall faster, more effortlessly than for it to go up. Because in order for a stock to go up, it needs a lot of capital from smart money, or even, in my opinion, even a whale retail would be hard to push a stock upward or even make a dent in a price movement. It would be arrogant of us to think that as retail traders we can move prices. We're nothing in the stock market. We're nothing, especially when it comes to sub-penny, sub-dollar stock prices. So just keep that in mind, okay? Enough of that. What else, guys? Hello Joe wants to see NVAX. Okay, let's look at NVAX. It's a NASDAQ stock. Okay, let's look at the 1 day chart. We're trading, what kind of volume are we trading? Let's look at that. 3.2 million, and average volume is 11.9 million. Hey, volume is dropping quite a bit here for some reason. Hello, Joe. Right now, what I see immediately, there isn't a pattern, but what I do see is this resistance at about 943, which is the 200 SMA. So I want to take this opportunity to share with you some things that I've learned through the years. 200 SMA can be a major resistance, or it can be a major support. In this case, it's going to act as a major resistance. I mean, just look how long the stock has been trading below the 200 SMA. I mean, just think of being buried 100 feet below, and you're trying to dig yourself out of this grave. Okay, this is the analogy I want to share with you. Is you're basically buried under this grave since forever. When did this stock start trading under the 200 SMA? I can't even go back that far enough. Start trading under SMA in 12/17 of 21 is when the bears decided, you know what, we are going to push this stock all the way down, and it did. So you've been buried forever. You've had no food and water, and you're just basically dead this whole time. What do you think is going to happen the first time you try to dig yourself out of this grave that you've been in? You're going to get your ass slapped back down, right? And then this is definitely a bear trap. So they're going to get you to buy in high, right up in this area, and they're going to slap you unless volume steps in. And this is concerning because if average volume is 11.9 million, why is volume only trading at well, no, I take that back. Okay, so yesterday was 19 million. Okay, no, it's fine. No, this is good. Sorry, I was incorrect with that. That's just today's volume alone. Okay, it's fine. But it still supports the fact that the 200 is acting as a resistance here. And guess what? Look where the 20 and the 50 is. It's so far away. To me, this is almost an eternity away. That's 15%. So yeah, they may drive this up 30%, which puts the price at probably somewhere in the $10, $10.50, 10 and change, and then it's going to get dragged down because price needs to break above a recent resistance or a long-term resistance, which is the 20, break above, come back down, consolidate around the 20, and then either get rejected and come back down and meet with the 20 SMA or the 50, and then come back up and reattempt. That is the psychology of how these stocks trade. And if you understand that, are you going to buy in at this point? Or are you going to, I mean, unless you're scalping or swing trading, you would come in here. But if you're looking to invest, no. I mean, there's everything happens in 3, and I can see another green candle forming before this happens. Okay, so just be really careful. I'm not giving out financial advice. What I'm giving you is an education on how to realistically look at a stock before you enter. Okay, so let's look at the 10-minute chart really quick, because it usually supports what I see on the bigger chart. So actually before that, let's jump to the 1 hour chart. I like looking at the 1 hour chart. There was a pattern, nailed price target 2, and then look at that, it came back down so quickly. Price target 1 and 2, nailed it, came back down, consolidated again this whole time. Try to break the 200 on the 1 hour chart and failed. And then here was the breakout from the 200 on the 1 hour chart, and look what happened. This supports what I just said on the 1 day chart, right? So price broke up above the 200, and then look what happened. Bounced around a little bit, and then it broke the 200 on the 1 hour chart, and then it came back up. Okay, so does that not, I mean, remember, this is the first time I've looked at this stock. I've never looked at the stock before. Does that not look like what I just drew out here on the 1 day chart? So yeah, the 1 day chart is going to take a longer period to formulate, but on the 1 hour chart, this played out within, let's see here, this played out within within 15 days. That's 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks of what I just explained could potentially happen on the 1 day chart versus the 1 hour chart. And I think this is a good time to point out that stock market is very fractalized. What you see in a smaller time chart should fractalize into the larger time frame chart. So when I explained the 1 day chart, I hadn't looked at the 1 hour chart, but basically they essentially almost overlap and map over on top of each other. And so that being said, let's take a look at the 10-minute chart. This is my favorite chart to look at. 10-minute chart is obviously oversold based on the oscillators. I mean, at least one of them is oversold. This one is getting very close on the second one. The stochastic is hovering oversold. Let's see, right? So again, on the 10-minute chart, look what's happening here. Price is essentially hovering around the 200, which is the dotted line. So from here, it bounced all the way up, and then guess what? It's essentially eventually going to come back down to meet with the 200 on the 10-minute chart. So we're talking about $8.89 or $9. Okay, all right. Hello, Joe. I hope that helps in understanding where price could be moving for NVAX. Anything else, team? Before I sign off, let's take a look. Ooh, AMC is getting murdered. Yeah, that's not pretty. Yeah, this offering. I mean, anytime there's an offering, there's dilution, and it just murders the stock. I mean, that's what happens when a company gets greedy. So it's trading at 1070, 1080 right now, unfortunately. And then as soon as this pattern completes, that's where the opportunity begins, unless they start to dilute another 40 million shares. Who knows? But keep in mind, AMC it's sitting at a low, all-time low of, actually it just broke the all-time low. All-time low for AMC was 1073. It's getting close, right? No, let me see. 1072, and today's low was 1075. So we're talking a couple of pennies or fractional pennies from an all-time low for AMC. And this gap down was a bitch. There's no doubt about it. So right now, this line I'm going to adjust and bring it down to the all-time low, and we'll see what happens. So right now, if pre-split, this is basically AMC's at $1 a share, $1 and change, $1.07 a share, which is very sad. And I guess with that, I mean, that sounds gloomy, but when a price is this low, you have nowhere else to go but up. And in my experience of trading AMC, AMC is a gold mine for hedge funds. They want to F it up, drop it down, F it up, push it up, take retail money, and the cycle begins again. So if you're sitting there losing hope, just understand that unless they want to drive this into sub penny and drive AMC out of business, they're gonna do this again, my friends. They're gonna want to drive AMC up multiple hundreds, if not 1,000%, so that they can short the F out of this stock down and make bazillion more money on this stock. So come back in 2 years and tell me if this is indeed what happened. I mean, I'm here for the long haul. I'm not here to just hang out. All right. With that, I'm gonna hold on a second. I got a call coming in. With that, I'm gonna sign off, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Talk to you soon.